Hi guys, so today we'll be doing a review of these pens over here, the Diplomat Aero. So first off, let's take a quick look at one of these pens. Looks like this, very sleek. It's supposed to be similar to the Zeppelin, which I think it does, kind of like a hot air balloon looking thing, right? Especially the one in this one with the stripes. These are the Diplomat Aeros, like I said before. So first we're going to kind of go over their dimensions before I go through the ones that I have. So for the length, it's around 5.5 inches. And its grip section, which it has a nice little snap cap over here. This section right on this edge is about 10.4 millimeters. When it is fully inked and it has its cap on, for example, if you wanted to post it on the back like so, which it posts securely, as you can see, it would be 42 grams. And without the cap, when you're writing and not posted, it is 31 grams, and that is if they are fully inked. So amongst all 5 that I have, they are all consistently the same weight as well as the same dimensions. All right, so we'll get started. They come in a variety of nib sizes. So for example, I only have 2 nib sizes here, but there are many others that they come in. So nib sizes, they've got everywhere from extra fine, fine, medium, and broad. And the ones that I'll be talking about today are the mediums and the broads. So for the mediums, I have 1, and for the broads, I have 4. So it's obvious to see which one do I like better, right? So let's start off with the types of colors that they have. I have several in this sort of finish, which is their standard colored aluminum finish. These are fully aluminum pens. They're not overly heavy, although they do have some weight to them because they are metal. And there are other ones that are also in this sort of finish, such as the turquoise or the midnight blue, the black, etc., etc. The fully colored ones are sort of like this. You can also get lacquered versions, and the lacquered versions are quite pretty as well. They have a sort of like shine to them. So in terms of colors, there are many to choose from. And I'll just kind of group them in different categories. So there's a standard, which is similar to this, like just a metallic color. There's the stripe, which is this one here. There's flame, which is an anodized sort of finish. If you're familiar with how anodized finishes look like, kind of looks like literally flame coming up, blue and orange going up into a more metallic middle. So there's flame. There's also brass finishes. And usually, oh, and there's lacquered as well. So lacquered, you can get the volute, which is the white and black swirl, or you can get the ones that have that glittery sort of finish. So these ones over here are usually more expensive than the ones above. The stripe is the same price point as one of these. So they range around that $200 mark in Canadian dollars. So next I'll kind of go through each one that I have. So I got some of these recently, but I've had this one the longest. I'll talk about this later. So this is in the gray. I have this in a broad nib. You can see that there is the Diplomat flower logo at the very top, which I've drawn up here. So let me just push this up. Okay, let's have it here. So right now, I have, this is the gray. This is also in a broad. And I have Troublemaker inks in this. And I have Petrichor, which starts off sort of greenish, but once it dries down, it's fully gray, and I find that it's a very good match for this pen. Then I also have this purple color one, and this one is called Violet. And you can see that it has a different finish, right? Like this part is a silver color with the purple, whereas something like this one over here is a black color. So it has a black clip with a black grip section in comparison. So the way I have Violet in a broad, and I've inked it up with Ferris wheel press midway the magnificent. Next I have stripes. Also in a broad, and this one is inked with Diamine Holly, which is a green with a sheen on it. This one also has the black clip with the black grip section. I'm going to move this a little bit so that we can see the rest of it. Probably going to zoom out a little bit. Okay. So I'll do the last broad that I have, which is in the green. And I have Ferris wheel press peppermint drop, which is the more green version of the Diamine Holly, I would say. And then lastly, I have this one over here, which is the Champagne. And I have this in a medium, and in it I have the Kaweco purple or violet. So as you can see, it fits international short cartridges and it fits international long cartridges. And actually, opening this up, there's one thing I want to point out, which is almost all of them. So the gray, the violet, stripes, and champagne, I have in a slightly older model where it looks like this and there is no O-ring or anything attached to the threads here. It just kind of slides on metal. And I haven't found any issues with wear. But in this one, my green one, which is a newer purchase, I find that the grip sorry, not the grip section, but attached to the grip section, there's this over here. And if you can see, there's just a little O-ring right here. And that slides in like this. And the very end is less metal on metal and it sounds different. So all of these are wet writers. So some notes about them. They are wet writers. They're smooth with a pencil-like feedback. And they all have a snap cap closure. So they're really great fidget pens because just listen to that. They're so satisfying. Some of them I'll find are tighter than others. Like, for example, this one is really quite loose, but I haven't had any issues with dry out versus something like this, where it's a little bit harder to pull and a little bit more crisp, the snap sound in it. Overall, I've never had any problems with dry out with any of these pens. I think that they're a really, really good pen if you are okay with the weight of it. I know some people complain about how heavy it is, but to be honest, I don't actually think it's that heavy. It might be a problem if you have like arthritis or other types of issues, but if you don't, this is pretty nice and I really recommend them. Obviously, I have a lot of them. I think that they're wonderful. I think that they look really, really cool. And I also really like the fact that they are a snap cap, which means you can take them with you and you can just on and off as you take notes. You don't have to worry about having to screw it each time. I do also really like this nib. It comes with a wonderful writing experience, and sometimes when you have some of the ink seep out from here, it kind of blooms on the flower, which is really, really pretty as well. I find that it is not overly slippery here for me, but if you're someone who finds that metal grips are really slippery, I've seen people put washi tape on this in order for it to hold better, and it doesn't actually mess up the snap cap closure system either. So with that, thank you so much. And have a nice